Okay guys, Born's Comic Club here, and today I'll bring you back another video for today's video. Today's video we're going to be ranking all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in my opinion, from worst to best. Now keep in mind that this is all just my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, great, that's your opinion. Let me know down below what your opinion is. What's your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and what's your least favorite? Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's get started really quick here. Getting started with the worst on my list. By the way, even though I say it's from worst to best, the worst category is indeed fact not a bad. They're not bad movies. Out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're just my least favorite. However, it's just I do not. What am I trying to say here? What the fuck am I trying to say? All right. They're not all bad movies, is what I'm trying to say. Even though they have... Fuck it, I'll just go along with it. Even though they have, they're on the least... from the worst to best, even though they're in the worst category, doesn't mean they're a bad movie. In fact, I pretty much enjoy all these movies except for Age of Ultron, which, by the way, Age of Ultron is my worst. Age of Ultron... I actually liked it when it came out, but I think that's with every movie, with everyone. Like a big blockbuster movie, like, take Phantom Menace for example. When everyone came out of the movie, everyone pretty much liked it. But over time, it kind of sat with everyone, and not many people liked it after that. So yeah, first on my list is Avengers Age of Ultron, and the reason why is because I rewatched it on Blu-ray, and it doesn't hold up. Like, it's a lot... How do I describe this? It just doesn't flow as well, and I don't think you can ever beat the time you first saw the Avengers in theaters, and it doesn't flow as well. Ultron's kind of a wasted villain. I thought he would be more menacing. In fact, he's a lot just wacky and funny, kind of. He just cracks jokes and all that. I thought he'd be more menacing villain, and I didn't think he'd be killed off at the end. I thought maybe they'd have a chance for him to come back through the computer or something like that. But anyway, my worst on my list is Age of Ultron. Next up on the list, we have Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 I find to be the least enjoyable Iron Man movie. However, I still enjoy parts of it. I know people like to crap on this movie for the fact that it's... people like to shit on this movie for the fact that it's just kind of boring and the villain wasn't good. Well, you could say that the villain isn't good about a lot of MCU movies. Sorry, that's a siren going on outside. But anyway, you could say the villains aren't... they're not the best part of the MCU. The villains are kind of lackluster. Are you gonna shut up now, sirens? Thank you. But I still find Iron Man 2 to have enjoying parts in it, like the race car sequence with the Mark something 4 or 5 or something like that. I forget what it is. Sorry. The suitcase armor, basically. I find that scene to be enjoyable. The ending scene, the ending fight was kind of cheesy, but it was alright. And the fact that you get the first glimpse of Peter Parker in this movie, you know, there are some moments of enjoyment in this movie. So Iron Man 2 is after Age of Ultron. Coming up next, we have The Incredible Hulk. Now again, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I actually fell asleep during this movie, during my first viewing. And it wasn't because the movie was boring, it was because I was very tired that day. Had a long day, I think, and I decided, you know what? I think the best thing to do is not to sleep and make sure I get all the tiredness out of me, but to watch a fucking 2 hour and 45 minute movie, or however long the Hulk movie is. But anyway, The Incredible Hulk is, it's better than the 2003 Ang Lee Hulk, by a long shot. However, that doesn't mean it's the, I mean, like I said, I think it was Jeremy Jahns who said it, and if it's not you who said it, please, someone correct me who said it down below, because I'm sure someone will watch this and know who it is. And sorry if I can't find out the right person, but I think it was Jeremy. It's hard to balance and make a movie about Bruce Banner and the Hulk, because there are going to be people that want to just see the Hulk smash it and kill people, and then there's going to be people that want to see Bruce Banner's backstory and how he copes and deals with the Hulk virus thing that he has. So I think this movie is the closest. I agree with Jeremy or whoever said it. I think this is the closest adaptation we're ever going to see to an actual good Hulk movie. and I don't think anyone can top it. So that's why, and it's still not even that great. I mean, it's a very fun movie to watch. I rewatched it, but it's not as great as the others following on this list. Coming up next, we have Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy The First Avenger. However, it's just not as good as Captain America's sequels. I think arguably Captain America has the best sequels in any Marvel movie ever. He's had one good movie and then two great movies, is what I'm trying to say here. So basically his trilogy is okay. His trilogy is, I consider, to be kind of like the Star Wars original trilogy, because we have the first movie, which was good, then the second movie was better, aka Empire Strikes Back, and then the third movie is somewhere in between. So, and I'm not saying that Civil War is just somewhere in between the first and second. It's much better than the first movie, but I don't think it's as good as the second movie. Anyway, Captain America: The First Avenger also has a wasted villain, but I do think Red Skull is one of the most memorable villains in the MCU. However, that's not enough to save this movie from being down towards the bottom of my list. However, I do find enjoyment in Captain America: The First Avenger. I just find it to be a little bit boring than all the other Captain America movies and other Marvel movies per se. So that's why The First Avenger is so far down on my list. Coming up next, we have the first Thor movie. Thor, I watched and I don't remember that much of it. To be honest, I actually like the second Thor a little bit better. Yeah, come at me, fanboys, or come at me, people that hate the second movie. I find the second movie more enjoyable than the first, because I don't know, maybe the first one's just too boring or something like that. But I don't remember it being boring. I didn't really get attached to the character. I still like Thor. Thor's an amazing character, and I'm really, really pumped and so excited to see Thor Ragnarok, because the trailer makes it look beautiful. But I don't know, I just can't get into Thor, and maybe and Thor: The Dark World didn't really get me into Thor, but I did find it more of an enjoyable movie. Hopefully Thor Ragnarok will get me invested into Thor and make me like him as a character more and more. Coming up next, we have Thor: The Dark World. Like I said last time, I don't know if I said it was. I know I like it more than Thor. Anyway, Thor: The Dark World I find more enjoyment in, because there's a lot more action, there's a lot more story to it, in my opinion. However, something I forgot to mention in Thor, the first Thor movie, is it has the best Marvel villain. So that automatically puts it above Iron Man 2, Age of Ultron, Incredible Hulk, First Avenger. It has the best villain in the MCU. You could argue that could be Vulture or Ego, but I do think that Loki is definitely the best MCU villain. And that's something that carries over in the Dark World. We do see a lot more Loki, even though he is in the Avengers and blah, 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 blah. But still, you do see Loki, you get more of a story to it. Jane Foster, still kind of useless. You get the ether in this movie. It's just more of an enjoyable movie in my opinion, and that's why I put Thor: The Dark World above the first Thor movie. It's just because, in my own personal opinion, I like Thor 2 better than the first. Coming up next, we have Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, I first saw it in theaters, and I knew a lot about Iron Man. After I watched the first Iron Man movie and the second Iron Man movie, I was like, alright, I need to read more about this character. And obviously reading about the characters after the first and second movie, spoiler alert, I forgot to say that this video will feature heavy spoilers. But I forgot to mention that, yeah, so basically a bunch of spoilers. So spoilers coming up here for all the new Marvel movies and stuff. I read a lot about Iron Man after the first and second movie, and I read that the Mandarin is Iron Man's arch nemesis. So when I figured out that the Mandarin was coming to screen in Iron Man 3, I was so hyped and so pumped to see it. So when I saw it in theaters, I actually hated the movie for what they did in the plot twist. However, after watching it on cable and after watching it on Blu-ray, I enjoy the movie a lot. And I kind of see what they wanted to do with the twist, and I thought it was a little bit clever. And, dare I say it, it's probably... I'm probably going to go a little flack for this. But I like it, then... I'm not even going to say it. Because it just doesn't make sense. I should probably swap the two, but Anyway, I'll tell you guys when I talk about my next movie on the list. I do find enjoyment in Iron Man 3. I thought it was very enjoyable. More times I watched it, the more I got to sit with it. I thought the twist was clever. I liked it. It was kind of an interesting way, although you did piss off a lot of comic book fans, but hopefully they do bring back the Mandarin, as they teased that he would be real in that Marvel one-shot, All Hail the King. So, let's hope the Mandarin does come back and not be a stupid fucking actor, but let's just get on with the list. Alright, this is where I said I might get a lot of flack, because I actually find Iron Man 3 to be a lot more enjoyable than Doctor Strange. And next up on the list is Doctor Strange. I'm not going to change the places, because Doctor Strange has more of a compelling story than Iron Man 3, because it's just like this actor is terrorizing him, and Iron Man, Tony just left this nerd on the roof of his party and forgot about him, so he's evil now, and gets like this fire extremist stuff. Doctor Strange, I like the story of, so I'm going to keep him above Iron Man 3. I just thought Iron Man 3 was more of an enjoyable movie. I have talked to people, I've talked to like 2 or 3 people that say Doctor Strange is the worst MCU movie, and that is not true at all. Doctor Strange has a lot going for it. You could like a lot about Doctor Strange, and rightfully so. The magic in it's cool, the story's cool, it's cool how he's an arrogant like surgeon and he gets in a car accident, and he's just like, hey, go visit this guy, he'll probably fix you up. These people all the way across the world in Nepal, they'll probably fix you up, and they do, and give him weird mystical powers. So, yeah, Doctor Strange is definitely one of those. I saw it in theaters, and I was kind of checking my my phone clocked. I know you're not supposed to do that, but you're supposed to. I was looking at my phone. I was like, when's this movie gonna end? Because I thought it was kind of boring, but then again, I did watch it on Blu-ray. Like I always watch Marvel movies on Blu-ray, and I did like it. I thought it was good. And I do think it has a better story than Iron Man 3, but overall, Iron Man 3, in my opinion, is a little bit more enjoyable. I'm sorry, fanboys. Coming up after Doctor Strange, we have Ant-Man. Ant-Man. Anyway, Ant-Man, I wanted to see in theaters, but I sadly did not get a chance to see, and I really wanted to see it because, I couldn't tell you how much I was looking for a good Marvel movie after Age of Ultron. Ugh. Anyway, after I saw it eventually on DVD and Blu-ray, I got it for Christmas. I was like, yes, finally a good MCU movie after that garbage Age of Ultron. And I did love Ant-Man. Say what you will about the villain, I thought he was badass. I thought he was cool. I thought he did what he was supposed to do. He was a good villain in my opinion. And I did like what they did with Ant-Man about his daughter and how he just wants to escape the crime life, but his buddies drag him back into it to do one more heist. And let's face it, if he did do that heist like his buddies told him to do, we would have not gotten an Ant-Man movie, and we would not have seen him in Civil War. So there you go, Ant-Man. Coming up after Ant-Man, we have the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, I saw in theaters, and a couple of the people I saw it with were just like, wow, what a stupid movie. And I was just like, well, you have your opinion. My opinion is this movie was fucking awesome, because Guardians of the Galaxy was such a fun ride. For a long time, Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite Marvel movie, until what happened here. For a long time, Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite Marvel movie. I looked at it higher than Winter Soldier until what movie came out? What was it? After Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it was Civil War. I was just like, wow, that movie was freaking awesome. And Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite movie for a very long time. My favorite Marvel movie. It's so enjoyable. You got new characters that you've never cared about in the past. You've never read any of the comics, but instantly, from the first words of the movie, which are Earth 1988, you're hooked. Right there. You're hooked into Peter's story. You like Gamora's backstory about her and her abusive father. You like Rocket and Groot, even though I guess you don't really know their backstory. Drax, you really want him to get revenge for the murder of his family. It's just such a fun movie. Yes, the villain is cheesy and his villain is fucking stupid, but I love the movie nonetheless, and I think a lot of people will agree with me when we say that it was possibly one of the better Marvel movies of all time. One of the better Marvel movies of all time. It's really great. It's a very fun ride. After Guardians of the Galaxy, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes, spoilers for Spider-Man Homecoming, because I know a lot of people have not seen Spider-Man Homecoming yet. It just came out. Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, jeez. It's such a fun movie. Oh, my God. There's so many stakes in it, and people are like, it's a great movie. It's the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2, and I can't argue with that logic. It is a fact. It is definitely the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. I don't know which is better, Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Homecoming. I might do a video on that. Let me know. Spider-Man Homecoming is definitely a good movie. We have the Vulture, who is arguably one of the best villains of the MCU, up there with Ego and Loki, in my opinion. Really have a soft spot for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel movie, or my favorite Marvel superhero, and he's my favorite Marvel superhero, Spider-Man is. And when he came to the Marvel Universe, when it was announced in 2015, I shit my pants. I was like, oh, he's back, he's home. And that's why Homecoming exists, because it's a great movie. It's just an amazing movie, and I hope we get more and more sequels, maybe a Sinister Six movie down the road. I just can't stop talking about how great this movie is. It has high stakes, it has great characters, you care about everyone in this movie. It's a great, fun, Spidey movie. Coming up next, we have a surprise to me that I thought this was better than the first movie, and I thought was better than Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I can't believe I like this movie better than the first one. This movie is such a great movie. Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because some people haven't seen that either. Spoilers for that movie. This is such a great movie, guys. You have to go out and see it, or you have to see it when it comes out on Blu-ray. It's such a fun movie. I liked it better than the first one. The villain of the movie, since it's spoilers, I'm going to talk to you guys. The Ego is the biggest piece of shit out there. He's the biggest piece of shit we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe. Killing someone, I know all the villains kill at least someone, but killing Peter's mom, his own dad killing his own mom, that is too far. And killing his wife, and just so he could stay alive and breed, and, he could be more powerful. It's just such a great thing. And then the soundtrack, Awesome X Volume 2. I don't know if I'm ready to call it better than Awesome X Volume 1, but it has some great songs in there, like Brandy. Father and Son is something I connect with a lot. Mr. Blue Sky. That opening scene with Groot was hilarious, of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Anyway, you get the point. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a great, fun movie, and in my opinion, better than Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Ooh, coming up next, at the number 4 slot, we have Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 kicked this whole universe off. We didn't have Iron Man, we wouldn't have any other movie on this list. Maybe that's a good thing, considering Age of Ultron's on the list. But enough about Age of Ultron and how shitty that movie was. Let's talk about Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1, it's probably my favorite Phase 1 movie, except for something... I was about to spoil it for a second there. Iron Man 1 is my favorite Phase 1 Marvel movie, except for another one, which is actually my favorite. But, Iron Man 1 is a great movie. It's such a great movie. You feel sorry for Stark in this movie. You know how he's a big dick and an a-hole throughout the series of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? In this movie, you connect with him. You're sad for him. You want him to get out of this cave. You're like, oh, I hope he doesn't get caught. I hope he doesn't die. Because stakes are high in this movie. He's trying to get out of the cave. This is such a great superhero film, and I think it changed the way that we look at superhero films today. Iron Man 1 is such a great superior film, and I think we're going to look back at this in the future, far into the future, and say, hey, that was a great Marvel movie, and one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Coming in at number 3, we have Captain America: Civil War. Now, for a while, this was for a while my favorite MCU movie, and it's got all the characters that you know and love fighting each other. They're all there. They're all combating each other, and they're all fighting for each side. I was on Team Cap the whole time. But that ending scene, not the ending scene, but when Tony finds out that thing in forgot where it was, but when he figures out what happened to his, something happens in Tony's past that is revealed to him in this movie, and that almost made me switch to his side, because anyone that would have watched that would have done the same thing that Tony did in his footsteps, because anyone would have done the same thing. Captain America Civil War is such a fun movie, and it has tension. I thought for sure someone was going to die, but maybe they're saving that for Infinity War for people dying, but I thought for sure someone was going to die, and, you know, something sad was going to happen, but something did happen at the end that made me almost switch to Iron Man's side, but in the end, Team Cap all the way. Coming in at number 2, we're almost done, guys, is Captain America the Winter Soldier. Now, I've already said before that this is one of, if not my favorite Marvel movie. It's great, it's amazing, blah blah blah. You've already heard people talk about how great this movie is. Winter Soldier's great. Sebastian Stan plays a great Winter Soldier. This is the Empire Strikes Back of the Captain America movies. The Russo brothers did a fantabulous job with this movie. Chris Evans rocks, is better Captain America in this movie than he was in Avengers or the first Avenger. Such a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? It's like, what? It's like 3 years old. Go watch it. Watch it now. Alright, guys, number 1, what could it be? You guys probably already know what it is. I had to sit and think about what my number 1 was going to be for a while, because I've said so many times that Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is better, and Captain America the Winter Soldier was such a great movie. I've said that all of those movies were my favorite, but I gotta say, out of all the movies on this list that I've sat down and watched, nothing will ever be the same as the time we all first saw the Avengers in theaters. It was the first time we all saw all those heroes come together on the big screen and fight the big baddie Loki. It's the first time anyone ever saw anything like that, and that is why the Avengers is the best MCU movie, because it's full of vigor, it's full of gravitas, it's amazing, it's a great movie, it's a great superhero movie, not just a great superhero movie, there's lessons to be learned, it's a great movie. It's like a masterpiece. I'm not ready to call it one of the best movies of all time, because it's definitely not. There's other movies better than it that aren't superhero movies. But it's definitely one of, if not the best, superhero movie of all time. There you go, The Avengers 2012. And there you have it, guys. Those were my MCU movies ranked from worst to best. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. Let me know your MCU movies from worst to best or best to worst down below in the comments. Let me know. This is all just my opinion, so again, if you don't agree with my opinion, that's perfectly fine. It's just what my opinion is on my favorite MCU movies from worst to best. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.